I went to surprise my son with a visit. I found him in the ICU fighting for his life while his wife was spee. My name is Kevin and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I want to share a story about how I learned that some lessons in life are worth far more than family loyalty. It was a Sunday evening and I was coming home. The faint aroma of campfire and the damp scent of recent rain still clung to my duffel bag. When I turned the knob and pushed open the door to my room, it was like stepping into a stranger's world. It was no longer my sanctuary. The bed where I had spent countless nights reading was gone. The simple desk where I had studied and dreamed had disappeared along with all my books and a lifetime of collected memories. In their place stood a wooden easel covered in streaks of colorful paint. The air, once familiar and comforting, was now thick with the chemical smell of turpentine. My mom's voice came from the hallway, a simple sentence that felt like a judgment. "Sophia needs the space." My dad, without even turning to look at me, added, "Don't be selfish." I didn't say anything, the words didn't feel necessary. I just put my keys on the small table by the entrance, nodded once and walked back out into the night. They assumed that was the end of it. It's a strange and particular sort of pain when betrayal comes from your own blood. A thief or a stranger could have stolen my belongings, and I might have forgiven them. But this was my family telling me that my entire existence, my personal space, my comfort, none of it mattered. I had spent my whole life believing in them, believing that loyalty was an unbreakable bond. I was the silent one during their arguments, the one who kept the peace. I was the one who consistently covered for my sister Sophia. When she failed a class or got into trouble, I was the one who handed over my allowance without a second thought to help with unexpected bills or emergencies. I realize now that they liked me best when I was convenient, when I was invisible. That night, I didn't return to the house. I found myself at a bus station with just my backpack, a cold, unforgiving place to sit and think about everything I owned. Most of my belongings were still inside that house, carelessly tossed aside or scattered. The personal things that defined me, my space, my sanctuary, none of it mattered to them. But one thing did matter: respect, and they had deliberately stripped it from me. It was in that moment that a cold, determined clarity settled over me. The very next morning, I started making a series of calls. I didn't call my friends or any other relatives. I contacted people who understood the complex world of property paperwork and legal signatures. I had always known my parents were reckless with documents. My dad was proud of it. He would always brag about never reading the fine print. My mom would sign anything that had a staple in the corner without even glancing at the contents. They had completely forgotten that when my grandmother passed away 3 years ago, she had left the old lakeside cottage in my name in her will. They thought of it as their private vacation spot, a place for them to escape. It wasn't. Their carelessness had given me a weapon, a legal one. I had the original deed and the irrefutable right to sell the property. So that's exactly what I did. The buyer was efficient. He paid in cash and asked no questions. By Friday, the house was gone. Not physically, of course, but legally my property was sold. My parents found out when they drove all the way up for their weekend getaway, only to find a locked gate and a very confused new owner. They called me. My phone rang and I just let it happen. Then they sent a text message. "What did you do?" My reply was 3 simple words: I needed space. They drove back home furious. My mother's voice was shaking, a mix of pure disbelief and raw anger. "That was our family property," she yelled. "No," I said, my voice calm and steady. "It was mine. You should have read the will." They threatened to sue me. I simply told them to go right ahead, and they did. The court proceedings were quiet and surprisingly dull. The lawyer I had hired was an absolute professional, a man who only seemed to crack a smile when he was about to completely dismantle someone's case with documents, every signature, every piece of paper, every single law was on my side. My parents sat there in complete silence, the full weight of their mistake crushing them. They weren't just losing a house. They were losing the illusion that I was powerless. When the judge dismissed their case, my mother stared at me as if she were seeing me for the very first time. My father refused to even look at me. My sister, Sophia, was preoccupied, with her phone, pretending she didn't feel the suffocating tension in the room. I stood up, collected my papers, and looked directly at them all. "You're right," I said. "I shouldn't be selfish, so I'm giving you space, all the space you want." And with that, I walked out of the courtroom and out of their lives. I never returned to their house. For a while, the calls kept coming, then they stopped. People often ask me if I miss them. I simply reply, I don't miss people who taught me I was disposable. I don't miss four walls that can vanish without a warning. The money from the lake house sale paid for my own place, my own bed, and my own keys. And the best part is they can't take that away because now they know I may be quiet, I may be patient, but I am never powerless. What lesson did you learn from this story? Please let me know in the comments.